For me, I would consider Anna would be like 5 out of 10 mechanics and 5 out of 10 decision making. It is the hardest hero to multitask with. Like you have 11 people in front of you, 6 of which are enemies, and you need to decide who to hit. And if you decide wrong, then your allies are gonna die or not, you're not gonna win the fight. There are some times which you need to recognize that after a while in team fights, you can actually kill the last 2 or 3 people instead of healing up your teammates. So this is why I would rate Ana being 50% mechanics, 50% aim-based. I think you can reach GM safely if your aim is not that good, but you know where to position yourself and not use your cooldowns badly.
So for Junkertown, do you play Ana on every map, every situation, every composition, or is there certain situations in which you will swap off Ana?
I usually play Ana on every part of the map and on every map though, right now. But I do think she is absolutely horrible on Ruins, on Ilios.
Specifically Ruins on Ilios, above any
Yes.
other map. And what about, is it about Ilios, Ruins, that makes her so terrible?
Because there are too many pillars. With Zenyatta, you can just heal somebody and then hide behind the wall for 2 seconds, then pick out again whilst you're trying to dodge a Widow shot. And you don't have that kind of luxury with Ana. If you pick out, and they play right now, you play with double snipers with Widow and Hanzo. If you pick out to quick scope somebody, even though you see the Widow in front of you, you're going to get sniped from the left side. So this is why Ana is really bad right now in wins. Like you just heal somebody with Zenzorb, and then you hide around the wall for 2.5 seconds, then pick out. So the orb doesn't go off him.
So it's just much safer to play the... Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. I'm just going to let this play a while. We'll take a look at the composition. And once we have the composition about like what the rest of this guy's teammates are playing, I'll just kind of ask you your thought process about how you'd start to be working with whatever it is your team picks here. Do you normally try and coach your team into which heroes would be best, or do you just kind of pick your hero and then whatever your team picks, they pick and you try and make the best of? How do you approach the actual like team formation side of ranked?
Well, considering the fact that I am actually one-picking Ana, I consider that I do not have the luxury of telling what other people should pick. And I'm just going to wait for them to see what they pick and just work around that. If I know the players and I know the...
I'm not going to invite Tricky in while mL7's on.
All at the same time, I'm going to try to shot call as much as possible. But if I know that there are some players that are really good and they like to talk a lot, I'm just going to shut up and try to give as many comms as possible. So I wouldn't tell my team what to pick unless we would struggle. I would just try to make the best out of a bad scenario, even if it's Torbjorn, Mei, and Orisa on, I don't know, on Ilios.
Okay.
Attack commences in 30 seconds.
This guy's just checking profiles or whatnot. Opinions on the private profiles thing, mL7? Good, bad?
I think good.
Good.
I think it reduces toxicity, yeah.
Okay, so reduces toxicity. Any, things, and no part of it makes you wish it was still around, public profiles for everyone?
Personally, I'll be completely honest, I do not care about profiles as I only care about my own gameplay. But if I would, let's say, play support for 5 seasons and then we decide to swap to DPS, even though I would play DPS at a GM level, I wouldn't be allowed to pick that because
Yes.
the profile would be public. And I think that's the first thing that it improved a lot. Like there's nothing wrong with swapping, even if you're GM or top 500. I know you're going to do bad, but you're going to learn from the best. So, and also I think it reduced toxicity a lot in low reloads.
I love the
I
love the mindset you have to this game. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
I liked you already. I like you even more now. But this composition, do they actually run triple support without Brig? What? I don't believe this. Somebody's got to swap.
Yeah, we can run this.
It's ranked. What do you expect?
It's ranked. Whew. Oh man, spoken like a man who grinds the ladder. Okay, we are seeing a Hanzo swap. Okay, so this is your composition. This is what you're working with. What is your approach dealing with Mercy, Double Sniper, Rhine Roadhog?
My number one tip to everybody that plays Ana in every scenario when the game is about to start, always think in advance who you're going to nano and in which scenario. Like, let's take this for instance. it's a long-range map. You're going with double sniper and Mercy, so Mercy's probably going to stay and pocket the Widow or the Hanzo in the back. So that means that it's your job to try and take care of the tanks. As for nano targets, you don't have a Zarya to combo with Hanzo's ult, so your priority target should always be a Hawk that has ultimate or a Rein that is really close to them. If the fight is going really wrong, like you can just heal up your, nano your Hanzo or your Widow. So this is the number one thing you need to do. You need to understand who you need to nano on the map, so you don't waste a millisecond to think during the fight, because Overwatch is a game that is insanely fast-paced, and you need to know who to nano in every scenario. Also, I would like to add that a lot of people don't do this. It is okay to actually nano your Mercy if she's going in for a risky guess, and that dude is absolutely pivotal of towards winning the fight. Let's say my Rein would die with pinning to 6 people. My snipers would get contested by 2 people, but they would kite them away. My Mercy would Valk and go in for a deep rest onto a Reinhardt that would have Shatter. So I would just nano the Mercy in that scenario, try to pocket her, so Rein rests up and then turns around and shatters 6 people. Apart from that, when you're playing with double sniper, always think what your other healer is doing. Like, that's the number one tip, apart from who to nano and so on. Like, always think what you should do so you do not overlap. If you're playing with double sniper, then that means that Mercy, if she's a good or he is a good Mercy player, you should just pocket your snipers. I mean, he should just pocket his snipers. So again, in this scenario, just try and pocket your tanks. Try and get out of line of sight, because it's a long range map, so they're gonna probably play with at least a sniper. And other than that, hide behind walls. Like, do not ever sit in open space. Think of when you play flex support, you need to play flex support not as a MOBA. I mean, not as you would play tank, like you would take damage and so on without any excuses. Whenever you're about to get shot, you need cover. That's the number 2 or 3 thing to understand with Ana.
So you put a lot of effort into thinking about things in advance. If you do kind of, a lot of people struggle with that, thinking about what they should be doing in advance and whatnot. When you are overwhelmed or if you've lost track of the fight going on, it's absolute chaos, things went all to hell, how do you kind of maintain your awareness once things go really chaotic? Because, as everyone says, plan never survives first contact with the enemy. So once things get really chaotic, there's a lot of things going on, how do you stay aware of everything that's going on? And like you said, there's 11 targets, and if Ana picks the wrong one, you're going to lose the fight. So you're doing a lot of planning before the fight begins, but during the fight, how do you remain aware?
You do not plan during the fight. If you start thinking about the fight, then you're going to lose it. You just need to play by instinct. Like, first of all, you need to play a lot and do a lot of mistakes. Like, the way to learn really fast is to do as many mistakes as possible. This is why whenever I lose, I don't care that I lose. If I learn something from it, then that's fine by me. So in this scenario, even if in the middle of the fight, you don't want to sit back and just go like, should I heal Rein? Should I throw my nade at them? Should I sleep? No, in that second, you're dead from a Widow. You just play by instinct, play by gut, listen to your... I don't want to say heart because it's going to be cringy, but listen to your...
No place for heart. I can't do a Romanian accent. Oh, man. I like it, though. And, there's something to say about less hesitation in the game, go by instinct, and then you can always look at it afterwards, even by memory, exactly. Or if you're doing a VOD review, then decide, hey, what would have been the correct decision here? I love that. Okay, let's get into actually watching a little bit. So I'll ask you a question, but feel free if you see any mistake that you want to talk about, or if you just have a suggestion for what you would do in this situation, even if it's a little bit crazy, let me know. I'll work around you. You take the lead, and let's take a look at this gameplay.
3, 2, 1. Attack commencing.
Take your medicine.
Escort the payload.
I shall seize the payload safely to its destination.
The pain.
So far, so good.
The hog's anti.
So far, so good.
Yeah, he's waiting in spawn, not showing himself to anybody. Closes the angles really well. Completely aware of what the enemy team can do. Okay, could you pause for a second?
Absolutely.
First things first, I think every Ana player should learn how to quickscope effectively. I know that a lot of players know how to quickscope, but you can almost, I'd say, ghost scope. So, like ghost scope, like you can quickscope in such a manner that it will not appear. So, if you want to get really good at Ana, you should probably go in practice range a couple of minutes a day, or you should also go in Ana paintball and get your quickscopes on. Just put on some music at maximum, play for 5 to 10 minutes, and then you should be good to go. Quickscope. For some people, it might take a day or two. For some people, it might take 2 months. For me, it took about 3 weeks to get it off because I see that from the first 2 or 3 quick scopes, kind of like more towards good than towards bad, but it can be improved.
He's not saying blank scope. He's saying ghost scope, which is there is actually a singular frame in Ana's animation where you can fire a scoped shot without the scope actually having appeared on your screen. Let me see. This is only a 60 FPS stream, but let me see if I can replicate it. I'm not really good at quickscoping on Ana, but I'll try and give you a demo, chat. So basically, the scope animation itself, if you look on the screen, you can tell that the scope appears if you actually see like the really fancy pattern, like see the white lines or the blue triangle in it. That's the actual scope part. But that you can fire a frame before that actually arrives, and you know it's a scoped shot compared to otherwise, because first off, you can't actually shoot during the scope animation. So if you do the right-left too fast, you can't actually shoot. But if you do it... no, I don't think that was it either. Is there a specific thing that you do to try and get the actual timing perfect, mL7?
No, but that was it. That was it. Like, just comes with practice. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I'm trying to do it too quickly. So yeah, it's a lot of people kind of do that and think that's quickscoping, but you want to do it during the frame, because the thing is, the main benefit of quickscoping, if you're talking about it, it's the fact that when you're in this version, if you're unscoped, this is just your normal sensitivity, but when you're scoped in, because it changes the field of view, your relative scope sense comes into play here. And what's your relative scope sense? What do you use?
50.
You use 50. I used to use 45. I'm down to 38. So when you're actually scoped in, it will change how you aim. So the main benefit of quickscoping is that you never actually have to aim differently based on the different sensitivity while you're scoped. The different sensitivity while scoped should only come in when you're actually hard scoping. So if you want to actually do a flick, you do it like that. I'm messing up. That was it. Missed. I missed the actual bot, though. And that was it. Now, the other thing that a lot of people probably don't know about, which mL7, you obviously know it, but if you shoot, and you're shooting at the max rate of fire when unscoped, and the max rate of fire when scoped, it's the same. But when you're kind of alternating between scoped and unscoped, there is a longer delay. So you actually can't unscope and rescope and fire at the same rate of fire as you were if you were to just hold scope or remain unscoped. How does this change how you play at all, mL7? Kind of the delay in the rate of fire when you're scoping and unscoping?
Yeah, it does change a lot. The thing is, whenever you are not contested, like when you see 6 enemies in front of you, you want to stay either scoped in or doing scope shots. But if there is at least one person that is trying to get to you, like either a widow from a distance or a tracer flanking you, you should quick scope until you get to cover, then stay scoped in. Like you want to quick scope when you feel you're under pressure. You want to stay scoped in or unscoped when you're not under pressure.
So, yes, and I guess that's what I was just looking for. Sorry, I just blanked there. I was reading chat. But quickscoping is a great skill to learn, but it's not something that you should use all of the time, because if you are uncontested, exactly like mL7 was saying, it's a higher both HPS, heals per second, and damage per second if you either remain unscoped or remain scoped. So if uncontested, pick one mode and stick to it. Okay. Do you recommend toggle or hold for scope? A question from chat.
I use toggle. I use toggle.
You use toggle. Is there any reason you do that?
It's the same that I used in every FPS.
Fair enough. And you were going to say?
Yeah, because you're in training right now. I would like you to do an unscope shot and nade as fast as possible. So chat learns about this. Okay, so whenever you sleep somebody on the ground and you like, let's say it's a 6-man graviton. A lot of players don't know this. Let's say your Xayah grabs and you have a free nade. Always do an unscope shot and then nade because it animation cancels.
So kind of
Like you
like
can get a free shot. Yes, exactly. You can get a free shot off. I see numerous amounts of Annas that just throw the nade. Just get a little bit of damage off.
a similar thing on Moira is that a lot of people don't animation cancel either a healing or a damage orb into coalescence. So it's a very similar thing. Whether you're on Moira, it's the same sort of thing. If you are going to use your coalescence, it's best to wait 1 or 2 seconds for that last orb to come off cooldown because you can animation cancel it into your coalescence. Any other kind of like tips that you want to demonstrate in the practice range?
Feeling sleepy?
Nothing I can come up with right now.
Nothing that you can come up with.
They're more complicated.
Anything like chat loves complicated tips. Go crazy.
Okay, try to sleep dart somebody.
I figured this is the
And-
one you were going for.
Yeah, exactly. Like try to do the combo unscope. So unscope shot, nade, unscope, then melee. Not when you land asleep, but right before he wakes up. I don't know why, but it like takes 100 or 200 more milliseconds for him to wake up. If you shoot him whilst he's waking up, then whilst he's still sleeping.
Yeah,
I
so-
don't know how.
They used to have it being the same way, but they actually, after Anna was initially released, they nerfed the sleep dart so that if you wake them up during the sleep animation, so if they wake up instantly and they can use abilities immediately. But one of the things about the sleep dart itself is that if they reach the end of the sleep duration and then start waking up, the wake up animation of sleep dart can't be interrupted. So they still have to go through the wake up animation, and they are still basically CC'd. Like you can be taking damage, but they're still CC'd and can't react to it. So if you're listening to the sound, and that kind of like hiss at the very end is the wake up. So I'll do it again, but you normally judge when the end of the sleep dart is based off the sound, and that's when you do your combo so that your target can't react to it.
Go to sleep.
See if I can get the timing right. Right here. So you saw that I was able to damage, and he still went through the normal wake up animation. Any other ones? None of the other texts actually come to mind. But-
Yeah, two more.
Two
Which
more?
are really nice. Yeah. One is from League of Legends. There's a term called chain CC, like
Chain CC.
Chained hard stuns. In Overwatch, you don't have that many hard stuns. Like hard stuns would be like McCree's flashbang and a sleep dart, Reinhardt's shatter, and nothing else comes to mind. So think of it like this: your Rein lands a shatter onto 5 people, and you start focusing the squishies. I don't know the duration of the shatter, but I think it might be 2 seconds or 1.5 seconds whilst they're stunned. So what you want to do is when your Rein shatters, you don't want to try to land your sleep dart onto the bigger target, let's say the enemy Reinhardt, because your
Yep.
team is busy killing the squishies. So right before the shatter ends, you want to sleep dart him to like chain the stuns, so to say.
Oh, so Reinhardt shatters, you're killing up the squishies, and then right as they're about to stand up, you sleep the Rein, to keep him on the ground to help finish off.
Exactly.
And it's actually kind of funny if you do that with like freeze or sleep darts. It also really messes with the animations.
Yeah, I know. And I would also like to add another one that a lot of people don't know is players, in my opinion, they play based on two senses. They're either a player that relies heavily on their eyes or a player that relies heavily on their ears. Most of them rely heavily on their eyes. So if a Genji would come to you and you know he would have deflect up, he would expect you to sleep dart him. The way you counter that is you auto attack, like you melee. I'm sorry, melee or auto attack. I don't know which one is in
Melee's
Overwatch,
fine.
the correct term. Melee. So you just auto attack until he uses deflect, and you're gonna bait him in. The same goes with Diva Matrix. Like when Diva comes to you, don't get panicked. She's gonna come with DM, or she's going to DM when she feels like you're gonna sleep dart. You just auto attack once or twice, and he's gonna put his DM up, and then when it's gonna gun down, you're gonna have a free sleep dart.
Yeah, because for divas and Genjis and those type of characters, the risk of them not reflecting or defense matrixing is too high. Because if you do land one of your abilities, it puts them in a really bad spot. So just being patient with your abilities, they're going to, just based off of risk management, they're going to use reflect, going to use defense matrix, especially if you're just left clicking and meleeing them in the face until they do it. Absolutely. Was there any other kind of like text or just general thoughts on Ana before we get back to the VOD?
Yeah. Please do nerf Discord orb, please.
Please do nerf
That's my
what?
general. Please do nerf Discord orb.
Nerf
If you
Discord orb.
nerf, if you nerf Discord, I think Anna's gonna be back.
Really interesting. Okay. Any other changes that you'd like to see made to Ana specifically? Buffs, nerfs.
As buffs, I think a safe one would be to reduce reload cooltime. If I'm not mistaken, it is 1.5 seconds right now, which is one of the highest in the game. And whenever I reload, the TLDR is that people die all the time. They do not know. A lot of players don't know how to play around me saying reloading. That means that I need them to keep their shields up or to find cover for 1.5 seconds. And they just die and expecting for heals. I think a soft buff towards maybe bringing her back, apart from the meta changing with Hammond being brought to Overwatch in a couple of weeks, is reduce reload cooldown time from 1.5 seconds to either 1 second or 0.5 seconds.
Okay. That is a much more moderate buff than I expected from an Ana player, but I like it. I like it. Okay, let's get back into the VOD itself. Back to the VOD. Okay. Let me know if you have anything else to point out.
I'm escorting the payload. Let's keep it moving.
Yes, pause for a second.
Tracer's on.
Pause again.
Yeah, okay. So when he was fighting, like let's take this side. So you have the left side of the payload and the right side of the payload. Whenever you're playing Ana, you want to be hit from as few angles as possible. If you're sitting behind the payload, you can get hit by people that are playing from the bridge, from the top right parting of the building, from the right side where the tracer was, or from the left side. So you need to pick an angle where you are going to see every flank that's going to go on. I don't have any audio turned up to know if the tracer dashed through and you heard her. But whenever you're healing, you want to heal in cover. Like never heal in open space because you can get really easily picked off. Especially, I would like to put a lot of emphasis onto this. Even this is something really good for tracer players also, and for Genjis and for tanks. Listen when you're playing against Ana. Listen for her cooldowns. If Diana uses nade, she's a free kill. If she uses sleep, almost always a free kill. So right now, I would just sit a little bit in the back to the right side. So I would see only the left side of the payload, and the tracer, if she would want to contest me, she would have to come straight in front of me.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay, let's keep going.
On me, never mind. Hog behind, out of position, out of
He's in
position.
the
Push him,
loop,
push him,
yeah.
push him, push him. We can nade.
Yeah, Roadhog is certainly one of Ana's better matchups. Pretty hard to miss your cooldowns, and your cooldowns mess him up real good. Interrupt the hooks, interrupt his take a breather. It's very nice whenever you go against a Roadhog as Ana. What do you think is Ana's worst matchup?
In tanks or as
Just in general. The worst character, like the character that you hate seeing on the opposing team.
at this moment, Doomfist. But
Doomfist?
if I would, yes.
Fuck Doomfist. That just warms my heart. I hate Doomfist so much.
that makes two.
Oh man, what about Doomfist makes you think that Ana is weak in the match, or just hate him in general?
I land the sleep tag, but he doesn't connect. Or when he jumps up in the air, he switches directions without any reasoning so far. I can't seem to comprehend the hero. I don't know how.
Have you ever? One of the things that I like to do whenever a hero is giving me trouble is I'll actually play that hero for quite a little, just to see kind of how they work. You know, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. How do you kind of learn the matchups against hero if you are more or less one-tricking Ana?
I just ask a lot of players that I know that are really high ranked, or usually actually my girlfriend, because she also played Overwatch and was GM, and I tell her to practice 1v1s against me.
Dyer's asleep behind.
And so on.
I think Chad is going to absolutely demand that you marry her, but
You heard her laughing in the background.
Nice.
So we don't fast forward this. Can you go back a little bit, 1 minute?
absolutely.
Okay. So another thing about pause right here.
Pausing right here, not
Okay,
on the tab
so-
screen. Do you want the tab screen or not?
No, doesn't matter. Leave it like this. So the thing is, when you push the payload, you don't want to sit the payload. Like if the fight is going to happen towards the front left side of the payload, you want to sit diagonally towards the right down side of the payload, so to say. And also when on maps like Jungle Town, like high ground is your best friend. If you're pushing the payload, you can go either on the high ground in front of you or the high ground on top right. Like always try to get high ground with Ana if possible. And again, as much as possible, do not try to sit on the payload nonstop, as you're an easy target. Because the enemy team mindset is, yo, let's just go and focus the payload, or let's just go and focus the Ana. And if like essentially they're chasing two rabbits, and there's a saying that if you chase two rabbits, you only catch one. By you staying on the payload, you're gonna catch both rabbits. So try to stay as far from the like, not that far, but not that close either. So they have to pick. They either contest the payload or they contest you in the backline.
I love that saying. I'm gonna steal that saying. If you chase, what was this? You chase two rabbits, you're only gonna catch, or you're not. What did you say about
You're
the?
only gonna catch one.
You're only gonna
If you
catch one.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see.
Like right now, I would go high ground behind me,
Big throw.
and right now I would go right side and get high ground again.
Spread out.
The right side up the stairs, like through the tunnelish area.
Yeah, exactly where the Hanzo is right now. That's the perfect spot to play from if the payload is over there.
That sorry has grab.
If there wouldn't be any enemies, that is. But right now they're pushing. Right now, just go and rotate on the stacks high ground. Don't sit low ground.
So everyone
Just
kind of like
follow-
talks. It's a very commonly echoed,
Sorry's asleep behind
you know, piece of
grab.
advice is just get to the high ground. For the people who are in bronze, silver, or gold, because you know there's all types watching this. What is it about the high ground in this situation that gives you advantage? Like, why is the high ground useful?
For Ana, the most useful thing is knowing where the enemies are going to come from. If you see 6 enemies, you can stay scoped in or do unscoped shots. If you don't see 6 enemies, then you can get contested. If you don't go get a high, like if you get a high ground, you can see to the lower part of the ground. But if you sit on low ground, you can get flanked from high ground. Usually, you don't want to get like explaining high ground isn't like high ground doesn't work essentially this way for heroes like Soldier and McCree and so on. The general idea is that you have a better angle from high ground and you have safety of height. Look at, let's say, medieval wars where you would go to, like, let's say a valley and people that were just sitting on a high ground, it was easier to aim down below because you would see everything and everything around you than to aim up. And also, I would like to add that in Overwatch, it is insanely hard to aim as up as possible. Try this. If you don't, if some of the people that are watching do not believe me, try to get a friend to pick Farah, pick Ana, and tell your friend to fly above your head with Farah.
I have an exercise for this that I trying to both show people how difficult vertical aiming is and also to train your own vertical aim. I actually have a very specific practice routine that I always kind of give people as a starter. Let me just open Overwatch again. So the thing is that if you look directly vertical up or down, and then you move your mouse left or right, your mouse actually doesn't change position. It just rotates in a circle. So if I am moving my mouse left or right at this angle, like perfectly on the horizontal, this is where the least distortion occurs. But if I'm looking directly vertical and I move left or right, my mouse itself just kind of spins in place. So as you move away from the horizontal and more towards the vertical, I'm looking in this circle. So you can see how the circle, there's like this, it's kind of like an octagon, but it's a circular pattern on the roof. In order to follow this circle, all I have to do is move my mouse perfectly left to right. And I follow a curved path. And this is what makes it so challenging to aim at the vertical, is that you have to, in order to aim on a curve, you actually move your hand in a straight line. So we have these lanterns here, and this is where I kind of like to have people practice flicking a little bit in the vertical. One of the ways that I do this is I shoot this lantern, you skip one and go back, and you try and do like that. And then trying to flick there. Flicking is even more difficult, because what I'm doing is basically like I'm acquiring, so before I actually pull the trigger, I'm making sure my crosshair is on it. But if I try and flick, so from here, and I'll go closer just to make it even harder. If I try and flick from this lantern to this lantern, so I'm going to try and do one motion. So a flick is an aiming style where you don't actually confirm your mouse is on target before pulling the trigger. So if I wanted to flick from here to like the popcorn or something, I actually am better for left to right flick. So if I want to flick from here to these, I would just go like that. It's just I don't even kind of confirm that my crosshair is on the target before pulling the trigger. But if you want to see how good you are at flicking in the vertical, look at this lantern. So aim at this lantern, look at this lantern, and then one motion. Try and hit it. It becomes extremely difficult, especially the more vertical you get. But yeah, this is just a fun kind of vertical aim practice. So let's do this properly. So here, and then I'm going to try and flick 2 to the right. Oh, that was off by a lot. 1 to the left, 2 to the right, 1 to the left, 2 to the right, 1 to the left, 2 to the right, 1 to the left, 2 to the right. But yeah, vertical aiming is hard. So especially on Ana, if you do kind of, this is another thing, the farther back, even if you are on high ground, the farther back will decrease the actual vertical variation of your shots and make it easier and less distortion in your aim for you actually hitting things. Anything to add, ML7? Kind of just put you on silent mode there. How do you practice your vertical aiming?
I actually don't. I like the only time I do practice it is with a Farah in the air.
With the Farah in the air?
Yeah, at the max distance, so I just barely hit her with, like, she's like 2 or 3 pixels, like far in the air.
Okay.
At a big distance away from me.
Fair enough. Let's get back to the VOD.
Watching your
No
back.
one can hide from my sight. The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Nice shot,
I'm
dude.
on fire.
No, it's good that he's getting high ground.
Ultimate is charging.
Name.
Junkrat's up there with Monkey. That Ryan has Shatter by now.
Ryan's alone, yeah.
Monkey's low, one shot,
The
one
Widow's
shot,
on my
one shot, one shot, he's naded. Good job, good.
That's one way to kill a monkey.
Unlucky, dude, I didn't even see that swap by then.
You're going.
Junkrat's in the middle, up top.
Headshot. Discorded headshot too. That sucks.
Oh, okay, my bad.
How would
Just
you
like
have
a
played
Winston
that fight?
count of the Widow.
Stayed on the high ground, transitioned to the high ground on
Have
the
our own
outside.
sniper.
How would you
Go
have done
inside.
it? Sorry?
Go inside to the right side. Go inside to the right side where you see those things. Yeah, over there where you use
So
your
in
mouse.
here.
Because, yeah, exactly. Exactly as I said on the first point, you always want to have cover and deny angles. You're now sitting in the middle of everybody. You can get shot from left or right. So if you just sit inside, you cannot get shot from the left side. The Junkrat could have like jumped on you and just mined you off.
Okay. So, like you said earlier, your golden rule is try and be shot from as few angles as possible. Okay. Let's keep going.
And we're on
Oh,
the
we have
path.
two.
في الامتحان يكرم المرء أو يهان.
I mean, we have our own Widow,
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
so I trust her counter pick. They have walls at the moment.
Take your medicine. Hello there. You won't regret it.
What charge are you, Zarya?
40%.
So here, we're still running the double sniper. Now we've got a Zarya Reinhardt. You've got Nano. Are you already thinking about nanoing? You know, your original plan was that the best nano target was the Roadhog, who we no longer have. So in this situation, this composition, this section of the map, who are you thinking to nano and why? And under what situation? Like, just give me your thoughts on using nano here.
What comp do they have? I need to know if they have Winston or Rhino.
They had Winston. I'm not sure if they're... yes, they still have... So there you go. They have both, actually. Not what I was expecting. They've got both. Like you said, it's ranked.
Okay, so
Oh boy.
right now, to be really safe about it, I would probably say to do a dry push to force the rolls off, and after that, you're gonna have a free combo with Zarya, Graviton, and Hanzo ult, and you're just nanoing the Hanzo. But if I knew that the Zen wouldn't have Transcendence to keep it for the combo, I would probably either nano my full charge Zarya or even my Hanzo, so he gets ult faster and gets some free shots off. Because I don't expect Junkrat to play behind Reinhardt on Junkrat Town. I expect him to be somewhere on the pillar. And I could also nano my Reinhardt to win the hammer duel between the Reinhardts. So again, keep it in case Zen has Transcendence, because I can't remember if he has it. Just nano the Hanzo when you want a combo. If he doesn't have Transcendence, you know it for sure. Either nano your full charge Zarya or your Hanzo if you know if he's going to pop off, or your Rein when he's in front of the other Rein.
Why would you nano boost the Hanzo instead of relying on your Mercy to damage boost him?
Because Hanzo usually, even if if you nano the Hanzo, he's probably gonna first start to shoot at squishies, but squishies are going to hide around corners because they're gonna be afraid of the nano sound. Like the Widow's going to take the duel first, but then she's gonna be like, "Oh fuck, a Hanzo with the nano on him," and then the Hanzo's probably gonna start shooting the tanks. Even if he does not aim at them properly, he's probably going to put a ton of pressure by at least shooting the shields that Winston have and Reinhardt have. So by nanoing him, I would enable maybe getting an easy pick off by him headshotting somebody, or two, at least putting a ton of pressure onto the tanks, if not hitting them, hitting their shields and barriers. So my tanks would be able to like clutch it after. Also, thirdly, would like to add that it will help him farm his ult a little bit faster, and he would have a slimmer possibility of dying because nano also makes him tankier. So we would be able to get a combo of probably in 20 seconds if he hits 2 or 3 shots off.
Okay. There's a question in chat asking about, because Ryan is at 97% to his ultimate, does that make him less of a target for you to nano, or is it more about winning that Reinhardt battle that really matters and less about charging your Reinhardt's Earth Shatter?
It's more about winning the Reinhardt battle. When you nano your Rein, that means that your Rein doesn't necessarily mean that your Rein should press Q or press pin. There's a lot of Reinhardts just when they get nano, they charge into 6 people and they play for the enemy team in that kind of scenario. So you just want to nano your Reinhardt, and hopefully he's just going to swing his hammer. Because the thing is like this, I think that usually in maps like King's Go, when double sniper wasn't a thing, there was this problem. If you would run with Zen, all you had to do was just discord the Reinhardt when his Zarya used friendly bubble. So your Rein would have Discord Orb on him, and you couldn't keep him alive because a Rein with a Discord Orb would die faster than a Rein without a Discord Orb. So you had to compensate by using nano. This is what I did in the last 2 or 3 months. So my main goal would be just farm nano as fast as possible and just try to nano the Reinhardt. To summarize the question, nano the Reinhardt and pray that he's going to swing his hammer and not shatter the shield or pin into 6 enemies.
Do you ever communicate these desires to your Reinhardt, or you just kind of like give him the blue juice and hope for the best?
I avoid them. if he's a main tank in top 500 for 5 or 6 seasons and he does that, I'll just avoid him, at least for
You'll
that
just
game.
avoid him so that you just can abuse him when he's on the enemy team. That's awesome. So you, oh boy, I love that. I love that. Okay. Anything else to add, or watch more of the VOD?
Watch more of the VOD.
Okay.
I've got O.
Okay.
Jam really high now. Oh shit.
That's going for the supports. Get the monkey. He's low.
Nice.
I baited there, Valkyrie.
Okay, pause. Go back 5 seconds if you can, or something like that. Like right after the
Let me
Junkrat kill.
Right after the
going for
Junkrat kill.
supports.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a 5 versus
Get the
6
monkey,
right now
get the monkey.
in
He's
favor
low.
of the enemy team.
1,
You get a
2, plus
You-
the body shot from Widow
exactly.
is a kill.
Okay. Now, after you're gonna pause, you're gonna see that the Zarya is going to be full charge. This is a type of scenario. I don't know if the person who sent the vote saw this, but the monkey used the bubble, and like he's going to have bubble again, but your Zarya is full charge. So she's really close to the payload also, and there are going to be at least 2 people there. You see the Reinhardt to the left side, Widow's behind you, you're gonna 5 versus 5. So in this split second, I would just nano the Zarya, and she would go ham on the payload with Moxie pocketing her. And hopefully she's going to break the bubble so I can heal her also.
So on a scale of nanoing people off cooldown and looking for the perfect opportunity to use your nano, you're very much just a nano off cooldown kind of guy?
Depends.
Depends.
Like,
what
if
does it
I-
depend
yes.
on?
The people I know in solo queue. If I know that my Hanzus has 20% ultimate charge, then I know the player and I know he's really good, and we have Graviton, then I would probably keep my nano up because he's probably going to farm 80% of full charge in the next 30 seconds, and I'm just going to nano him. Whilst if I would not know the player, or if I would not like him that much, I would probably either nano my full charge Zarya or my Reinhardt, and probably we're gonna use Grav and not the Hanzo ult. So it strictly depends on who I'm playing with. In general, what you want to do with randoms, especially in lower reloads, like if you're not up to GM, don't be this picky. Okay, so I think Ana can charge her ultimate insanely fast if you're really smart about where you position yourself and you're really good with your aiming. You can farm nano in 30 seconds or less than 30 seconds, depends if you land a big nade on your teammates. So that means that like 9 out of 10 times, if I would play in ratings below GM, I would probably nano off cooldown. The same with sleep duct. A lot of people keep the sleep duct for the perfect scenario. But think of it like this. In 24 seconds, the perfect opportunity is going to come in 24 seconds. And you're going to use only one sleep duct. If it hits, okay. If it doesn't, not okay. But in those 24 seconds, I prefer using 2 sleep ducts. If both hit, then GG, I won the fight. If only one hits, then again, GG, I only won the fight. But probably my mindset would change if I would play in a team. Because again, if I would play in teams, the enemy team would be completely aware of what I'm doing with my cooldowns. Like if I wouldn't have sleep duct up and the enemy guy would know that I don't have sleep duct up, he's just going to start hammering my other Reinhardt because there's no risk of me sleep ducting him. Or if I would use my innate, the enemy Ryan could just go and swing his hammer because he's not gonna get anti-naded.
Now, how do you balance that? Because one of the very first things you said in this VOD is that, for flankers, if you hear the Ana using her cooldown, it should be almost a guaranteed kill. Are you doing this sort of playstyle where you're kind of like using more of the sleep darts when you aren't being threatened by flankers? Or how do you balance okay. Perfect.
Exactly. If I would play against a Tracer, against a really good Tracer, like let's say if I would play against Kabaji in ranked, if the second I would use my nade, I would be dead if he would be on the flank. So I need to be really patient with my nade. And this is what a lot of players are going to see also in GM and at every elo. If the Tracer is really good and knows what's up, the second you throw your grenade and you don't have any peel, you're essentially dead. So be really careful with cooldowns against good players, but if you see 6 people in front and they're giving you the whole space of the world, just go ahead and roll your head over the keyboard.
I like that. Just hit all the buttons and see what happens. I love it.
Updated there, Valkyrie.
I wonder Zari kind of backs off.
Good job, dude. Good job.
Yeah,
Usually I nano my Zarya if there's still people alive after the Graviton in order to help build her second Graviton. Is that something that you think is a good use of
we got Winston behind us.
nano, or should you use the nano more for like fight winning
I'm gonna go
scenarios?
for the Mercy on the right.
The first option, the way you do it. I do it the same, but only after the Graviton is over. Like not a lot of people ult the Zaga after she hits a charge off and keeps on chasing people. Like 2 people are not grabbed in, and they just nano her to finish off the fight. But she's not gonna get any ult charge off if the Graviton is still going on. So be really patient with it.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, that I keep trying to think about too many different things while you're talking. I apologize for that. But for the people who don't know, you can't start building ultimate charge towards your next ultimate until after the effects of your current ultimate are complete. So if your grav gets eaten, for example, then you can start charging ultimate immediately. You don't have to go through the normal delay. If you grab the ground, you have to wait for the grav to go away. If you shoot the grav straight up in the air, you can't start building ult charge for your next grav until the grav lands and ends. For Reinhardt, you can start building your shatter charge immediately if it's completely blocked. and as soon as it's kind of like the 450 milliseconds have passed, or after they've stood back up. I just went back a couple seconds. This Widowmaker duel, is this something that you would do? Do you tempt fate and try and outduel Widowmakers?
Of course.
Of course.
I need yeah. I need to show who's the alpha.
You need to show who's the alpha. Fuck. Can you be a little bit less lovable? Can you leave some of the viewers for me, please? Jesus. Does it work out for you? I'm sure sometimes you get made the fool. Sometimes, occasionally, rarely.
Yeah, but I have a small mind game. Whenever I feel like I'm gonna lose the duel against a sniper, this is a cool trick that everybody should know. When you turn your back around and put your head in the ground, your headshot hitbox is smaller.
Knowing the animations of your hero is very important. Absolutely.
So if I would duel a Widow, she would miss 1 or 2 shots, I would miss 1 or 2 shots, and I would need to run to cover. I would turn around 180 and just try to be as unpredictable as possible with my movement whilst looking at the ground. Or other than that, I would just spam hello at them if I know that I have the upper advantage. Like, especially in ranked, a lot of people don't. This is one of the most important resource in rank is knowing how to tilt the enemy. If the Widow is missing 5 shots and you're missing 5 or 6 shots, and you don't know who's going to win the duel, in my opinion, all you need to do is just spam hello and just pray that she's going to miss the shots. If your team's going to come and follow and kill her whilst you're spamming hello, then she's gonna be tilted probably. And you're gonna get away for free, even though you fucked up the duel also. Like, everybody missed the same amount of shots, so. But she's under pressure.
But you'll win. You guys both missed your shots, but you'll win the mind games. I love that.
Because I need to land 3 shots to kill her, or 2 shots in the nade, and she needs to land only 1. So she's under pressure, not me.
That's fantastic. I love that. Mendo's in chat, and he says Anna's head hitbox can get even smaller. Oh, good to see you, Mendo. Hopefully you're having a good day. And I actually missed it, but about 20 minutes ago, Hal TV hosted with 250 viewers. I'm not familiar with your stream, Hal, so if you are still around, I apologize for missing your host until now. I'll definitely have to check it out. I appreciate the host, my friend. Oh my goodness. just spam hello. I love that. Oh, it's too good.
Mercy's low, hit her one.
She's on the left, I think.
There's a hook. Hello. I'm going to have to do that. In your honor, I'm going to have to do that.
You see, when he sees that he's safe, he stays scoped in. Like, it's second nature. When he closes the angles, like, he knows that nobody's to his right, and he only sees in front of himself. So, to summarize, so far, I think that the player that's on the board has a good understanding of the game. He just needs to play a little bit more aggressive and just try and do more mistakes. Like, he's...
Try to do more mistakes?
Yeah, do
to
more
learn
mistakes.
from them.
Exactly. The faster and more mistakes you do, the faster you're gonna go. Like, he's playing really aggressive with the things he already knows. Like, he climbed up on top on last point and slept the monkey when Junker was also near him, and then backed off. That was because he probably saw somebody do it, and he tried it once or twice, failed, kept on doing it, and then it came to success right now.
Do you think that at this level of play he could make it to GM if he just corrected those few things? He's at 3,800 right now. Do you think GM's within reach for this guy?
Yeah, no problem. He just needs to
Stamp of approval.
learn. Just needs to learn how to be more ballsy about his hero. Like, Anna is the type of character that the abilities are absolutely insane compared to other heroes. Are also really insane with their abilities, but to me, heroes like Zen aren't that special with their abilities. Like, your shift and your E, your harmony and your discord orb are not that special. After a while, you're gonna get used to who you're going to put them on. But with Anna, you have 2 more abilities than with Zen, so to say, with how you're gonna use your nade or how you're gonna use your sleep dart. And right now, the way he's playing really smart positioning wise. He's closing the angles most of the times. He could
Again,
work,
sorry, I'm just going to quickly interrupt. For the lower half of the bell curve, I suppose, can you explain closing angles quickly for the people who don't know what you mean by that?
Okay, let's take exactly this screen right now. So to your left, you know that right now to your left, there's nobody that can come towards you. Let's say right now you have three possibilities: either somebody from your right, somebody from your front, or somebody from your left. By you closing angles means that you're going to get shot at from as few angles as possible. Think of it as a circle. If you would sit in a perfect circle and you would be surrounded by enemies, they could shoot you from every angle possible. But if you would hug a wall, like let's say this is an invisible wall where he's sitting right now, he could only be shot from the front and from the right. But he knows that nobody's on the right, so he can only get shot from the front. That's about closing angles. People that play the FPSs, it's like the same mechanic over there. Like show as few pixels of your body as possible while still being efficient.
Okay. I had interrupted you. Do you remember what your previous thought was?
I have no clue.
I apologize. Okay, let's keep going. Hopefully it comes to you.
Ooh.
It was a losing fight anyway.
Yeah, they wasted time.
It was a nice sleep though.
It was a nice sleep, and it almost got the finishing blow too. I think that would have only had 5 HP remaining.
You're not getting rid of me that easily.
And Karq, thank for the host. Actually, I think that's an auto host, but I appreciate it regardless. There's your favorite character, Doomfist. Oh, I hate that hero. So here again, you'd either be transitioning instead of standing like in the open in the middle of the road into one of those windows or onto the high ground again.
Yeah, exactly. Just sit on high ground, door on the right side. He would have gotten killed by the junket, but he fucked up over there, and that was a nice sleep and nice shots right here at the end.
Do you care much about the actual accuracy of your shots, or what do you? What's the best way to put this? What do you know? What your average accuracy is, scoped, unscoped?
I have no idea about my.
You
stats.
have no idea.
All
So you just don't even care.
I know.
You care
Yeah.
about the actions that lead to won games. You don't care about X number of deaths per 10 or anything like that.
I don't care about stats because I know that they're not perfect. So there's no point in me bragging about having 95% accuracy as long as I don't have 100%. Every shot I miss, that's my mistake. So this is why I don't look at. The only stats I look at, honestly, are deaths and limbs. If I have more than 7, 8 deaths, then I played really badly. I aim to have almost 0 deaths. I do have 3 or 4 or 5, depends on the games. So yeah, as many limbs as possible, as few deaths as possible. And about other stats, I don't care. I live by the philosophy that I would like to emphasize on this. I don't have anything against players that put a lot of passion into the game by, let's say, flaming people when things aren't going right. But to me, you can be as much as of a flamer as you're as much as a good player. If you hit every headshot with Widow, which nobody so far exists in Overwatch, then you can give orders to people. If not, especially in ranked, then you should just shut up and just start playing the character better. Because one bullet can make the difference between a won fight and a lost fight. So this is why I do not care about how much healing I do, how much damage I do, how much. It doesn't matter if I play absolutely sick or not.
That being said, let's take a look at stats. So I just pulled up Anna on Overbuff. You're ranked 2, though.
I don't think it refreshed. Cap.
You don't think it refreshed? So right now you're the second best Anna player. Gale's got a 80%
Holy
win rate.
shit, that win rate.
80% win rate. I wonder if he's stacked or if that's solo. He was soloing today, wasn't he? I don't even remember. I know he was streaming earlier. But, okay. So, Mr. I don't care about stats. Let's see your stats. Competitive. Ana. mL7 on Ana. Competitive. Okay, so your eliminations, 97th percentile. Your damage. Now, for somebody who is talking about flanking or whatnot, your damage itself is 90th percentile. Okay. Your healing, very good. Your objective kills low. Talking about flanking, objective kills are such a weird stat. And your objective time is also really low, which, fits in with the playstyle that you were talking about. ED ratio, look at that. 97th percentile on the ED ratio. What else do we care about? Offensive assists. Look at that. 90th or 98th percentile on offensive assists as well. Sleeps, really good. Scoped accuracy is 64%. And this, of course, this number shifted dramatically after they changed that the shots go through full health targets. Do you like that change, or did you not like that change?
I like that change because it came with another change.
What
It
was the
added
other
4
change
bullets
that
to
came
her-
with it?
4 bullets to her magazine.
Ah, so you're okay with the change because you got 4 extra shots without having to reload. And as you were saying, reloading was the main thing that got you killed, basically, or got, I suppose, allies killed because they didn't know how to work around your reloads. Reloads happening less
Yeah.
often, more won games. Okay.
Exactly. But I would like to say that I think a lot of people are generalizing about the change that, people have been saying that the fact that you cannot pre-heal is a huge nerf. But the correct thing of it, like this is the example. Your Hanzo is going to pick high ground. If this would be on previous patch, you would throw a heal onto him so that when he would pick, if he would take damage, he would receive the last ticks of the heal. What you need to do right now is you need to quick scope almost instantly he takes damage. You just need to be faster. Like the Widow's shifting up, the Pharah's shifting up in the air before you would pre-heal her. Right now you need to wait, heal people when you see when you feel she's going to take damage. The second she takes damage, you let's say ghost scope towards her and she gets the same amount of healing. Like there's almost no difference. To add to that, if she takes more damage, like I don't know how many ticks of heals. I don't know the specifics of the hero. Although I main Ana, I really don't know the specifics of the hero that properly. I just feel the hero. But I know that if you pre-heal, it has like 5 ticks, tick, 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 tick. If you would get damage after the third tick of heal, you would only receive heal from the last 2 ticks. Because it doesn't like wait to activate until you're going to like get shot after. So again, just the change, all it did was just you need to be more aware of when people are going to take damage and just quick scope them around walls, which I know it's really hard for a lot of Ana players because they play with kind of low sensitivity. Or another example would be your Reinhardt shatters on the ground. Your team is shattering on the ground, you would essentially pre-heal. But right now, you just need to wait for your teammates to take damage to pre-heal.
So, yeah. So just changing the timing of it makes it less of a nerf, just changes how you play around it. Got to be quicker and more precise with the timing. I just pulled up here your stats versus Trekkie, the guy the VOD that we're reviewing here. So this is quick play stats, isn't it? Competitive. Here we go. Let's get out of quick play stats. Let's get into competitive stats. Trekkie hasn't placed this season. Can we not look at previous seasons? No. Trekkie. Go place. Goodness. Or you've got a private profile. Dang it. He has a private profile. You're the worst. The worst, Trekkie. Goodness gracious. I thought I was going to have some fun. Well, I guess not. Okay. How long have we been at this VOD? Probably an hour right now, and we're 8 minutes into the recording.
I deeply apologize.
No. It once took me 3.5, almost 4 hours to get through a Widowmaker VOD, so we are kind of par for the course right now. Oh, man. This is kind of like, this is the way that chat likes doing these reviews. They like looking at one Ana VOD in depth as opposed to like 3 or 4 different Ana VODs. And this will be on YouTube too, so as long as you're okay with that. But anyway,
Sure.
Let's keep watching it. So, do you have a YouTube as well, or do you just do Twitch?
Yes, I do have a YouTube.
Good stuff. Feel free to put this on, since you are the guest. If you'd like this to go on your YouTube channel, that is more than okay.
You need to kill Doom.
Ooh, missed the sleep. That's unfortunate.
Nice, sorry. Just build
Good
ult,
nano,
sorry.
bad nano?
I need to see the fight before.
Okay.
I need to see a couple of seconds before. I can't remember if somebody died and so on.
Yeah, this is also one of the challenges of going on tangents. You come back and you forget the state of the game. Okay, I'll play it. Here we go.
So Genji died, it's 5 versus 6. Right now you nade, you quick scope. Okay, he's dead. 5 versus 6, dead. 5 versus 5. Right now I'm close to my nano. I want to see if my Zarya has full charge. They use Grav. I killed the Widow. It's a 5 versus 4 right now. I want to either nano my Rhino or my Zarya right now. Right now, the second nano Zarya. Max is resting. Doomfist is on you. Right now, they rest. It's a 5 versus 5. This is what's going on through my head right now. The Zarya is still full charge, waiting
going.
for a nano for the past 10 seconds. Right now, we're going to get focused around, but the Zarya is still there. I didn't look at the kill feed. I think it's still a 4 versus 5, if I'm not mistaken. You just nanoed her at the last second, so it's going to be a 3 versus 5. or if Ryan didn't die. I don't know where the fuck I looked for a second. But exactly that. This is how my head is working. Whenever somebody dies, you like twitch your eye towards the top right corner and see who died and keep numbers of it. With Ana, Ana's one of the only, like with Mercy you can't do this. With Mercy you can't keep track of the kill feed and say do something yourself that's going to turn around the tides of the fight. But maybe with Ana you can win a 3 versus 6 with ease. If your Hanzo has ult, your Zarya has Graviton, and you have Nano, and everybody has everybody has ult. So really be careful. Like right now, Genji dashes up, it's still a 6 versus 6. My Zarya use friendly, they got dashed in 5 versus 6. I should get a kill off. Winston is low, somebody in the back. I'm just trying to pocket them. Doomfist is low, I think he called that out. It's a 5 versus 5 right now. We're racing 5 versus 6. I'm not close to Nano. The tire is off. Still 5 versus 5 right now. Monkey's up in the back. I just want to sleep him. Okay, we get a kill 5 versus 6. Widows down there. I need myself. I want to rotate and close the angle. Maybe play from inside so I'm not going to get sniped from the back. It's a 5 versus 4 right now. I'm now thinking of quick scoping the Genji and then going repositioning myself so I don't get sniped by the Widow. Because right now, if I see an open space, I can get sniped from high ground. It's a 5 versus 3 right now. I would probably go behind. It's overtime, only 1 on payload, only 2 alive, 1 respawn though, so he's going to contest the payload right now. When the monkey uses bubble, I just want to break the bubble as fast as possible. Good nade on the payload. I just want to pocket my Rhino as much as possible. Now I would like to run away from the defense, so he has to pick either ulting the payload or me. My main goal is to just sit in the back, not get killed, so I can be a heal bot and fuck my Nano as fast as possible. It's a 6 versus 5, 6 versus 4 right now. Zen is on me. He took the choice. My allies should be fine though. Only 1 remaining, which was Zen that was chasing me. So this is what should go on in your head. And I was thinking about 2 or 3 other things at the same time, but I can't talk about them. Like, this is what essentially every player that plays Ana needs to know. At least that plays Ana. I don't know what Overwatch League DPSs think when they're going through, but I bet that they're thinking at least the same amount of information.
What were the other 2 things that you thought but you couldn't talk?
One, enemy cooldowns. Every time I hear a Zarya friendly, I would call out the bubbles, like a Zarya friendly or Winston bubble or other cooldowns. And also I would keep an eye out for the ults. I would spam tap non-stop to see how close am I to ultimate. If my Reinhardt would have 70% ultimate, I would probably, if I would play in a team, I would say put all resources into Reinhardt. Like everybody would just pocket the Reinhardt so he could hammer around and could get the shatter off. Also, if I would know that the enemy team, let's say, had a Junkrat and he would respawn and he didn't ult for 1.5 minutes, I would be like, when Junkrat ults during the middle of the fight, whilst I'm thinking all of this, when Junkrat ults, leave Ryan alone on payload and just kite back. So we get the tag, so only Ryan dies, so we then re-engage the payload and we have a shot at it. So, like, tons of things. Like, 1, kill feed. 2, what ults are you going to use? 3, what abilities did they use? And other things like that. I'm sorry if I talk too fast, though.
No, it's good. It's good. We've got the recording. We can always... Your Colorblind came on here one time after having a few too much Starbucks. And some people in the YouTube comments section were like, yeah, we put it down to 50% speed to figure out what he was saying. So don't worry about it. It's all on tape. We can go back and listen to it if we didn't catch it the first time. Do you narrate your gameplay when you're streaming on your own channel?
From time to time, I do. It is like I can shot call in teams, but it's so hard to call my micro calls. Like I do some from time to time whenever I decide to drink an energy drink or just drink some coffee or some shit, and just like try and narrate my gameplay. But again, it's so hard. I can shot call with ease though. Like that's the conflict. I can macro shot call, but I cannot micro shot call my own decision making. I can do it, but not that much. And that's because I shot called in every game I played.
If you did shot calling or narration like during your streams, I'm not sure how often you do it, but I'm telling you, people would watch that. People would love that. Absolutely.
I did a couple of times, but the thing is, people told me that I'm talking too fast and that they cannot understand me. I'm non-stop talking. That's the problem.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that was really insightful.
The suggestion.
That was really insightful. I definitely think it's one of the things that I watch people like Kabaji and Emong, and they make it seem so effortless how they talk while they play. But learning how to play on stream is a skill of its own. And I think if you kind of were able to take even a part of what you just did and put it into your own gameplay while streaming, oh man, people would love
Thank you
that.
for
I
your
would
advice.
love that.
Thank you.
I'd love that. Chat wouldn't. Yeah. By the way, your stream is mL7 OW, right?
Yes.
Lowercase m, capital L. Is that correct?
And an underscore, yeah.
So I'm just going to type this. Chat, I want you to right now go and follow mL7. Twitch.
You're far too kind.
Twitch.tv/ml7_OW. Go follow this man right here. Go follow him. Also PvP,
You're
how you
far-
doing?
You're far too kind, Jayne. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for coming on and teaching us, man. It's I would have done not nearly as good of a job reviewing this VOD as you have helped. So I appreciate you coming and making my stream better as well. But enough stroking each other's egos. Let's get back to the VOD. I'm not sure if we'll get through the entire thing because at this rate we'll be here all night. And how late is there? It's got to be past midnight, isn't it?
It's 3 a.m.
3 a.m. Okay, let's.
No problem.
We'll,
No
we'll
problem.
just watch a little bit more, and then I'll let you go. So, how does Anna differ on attack compared to defense?
On attack, you can be more offensive, as the enemy team is going to be focused not only on the enemy team, but also on the payload. On defense, you need to be insanely careful because the enemy team is looking to find opportunities. So again, the number one tip, especially in this meta, which makes me want to punch my monitor and throw it off the window at 4 a.m., is try to deny sightlines from the snipers and do not get sniped. And another thing, do not trust your Reinhardt. He's going to drop his shield after
Do
a while,
not
and you're
trust your Reinhardt. I like it how the opinion of your team is down here and the expectations for yourself is here. I
If
love
would
it.
Duo, I duo with Reinhardts a lot, and the Reinhardts I duo with, I trust them. So I just sit behind the shield. But if I would play with Reinhardts that I don't know, I would just sit behind walls because I do not know when they're going to drop their shield. So I can get randomly sniped by a Hanzo that just spams the shield. Happens far way too often. And this is a good spot to play from. Like, see, he's denying vision right now. This is like denying sightlines. He's closing angles. He can only get shot from the payload.
Do you know what question
But
I'm
there
going to
is-
ask?
Mm.
So
No.
so the scoped versus unscoped shots, projectile hit scan, and also scoped in has
I know.
a tracer shot. So
Exactly.
for you, it's a yellow line. For the opponent, it's a purple line. Here, is this something that you worry about? Whether
Yes.
you're giving your position away by scoping in or scoping out, and I suppose, how do you balance the need between hiding your position and making sure that your shots connect?
I would always try to hide my position. Like, the thing is, you have two options. You either try to hide your position and sacrifice your accuracy, and maybe your teammates are going to die. But the other thing is, you either do scope shots, and you're gonna get focused down because they're gonna know where you're going to be at. In this particular scenario, just do unscope shots because there is almost no threat of Zarya and Rein melting down insanely fast because the Rein shield hasn't been spammed at all. As you can see, it has at least above 1.5k HP. By the way, always pay attention to the cracks in the Reinhardt shield if you're playing a healer and every other character in the game, to be honest. And also, to add to that, there was a Mercy behind them to pocket them in case they would have gotten damaged. But the thing is, he stayed here a little bit too much. I wonder where he went, because if he had three options actually. Right now, the payload is close to where he is at. So if he wants to retreat, he's going to retreat either to the back line, which he can get flanked by a Widow from the right side that usually do that long flank, and he's not going to be able to heal his tanks, and he's going to be cut off from the team for at least 5 to 10 seconds because he has to rotate towards the building and then pray that he is not going to get shot whilst people are shooting at him under the bridge. Or he can walk in front and risk of getting sniped because, hey, it's solo queue, he's not playing in a team, and the Reinhardt is probably not going to come towards him to body block, to block the shots with his shield. Or three, he's going to ask for an engage and engage the payload. So to summarize, the intention was okay by playing over here, do unscope shots, a couple of them, and then decide. You either reposition with your team, or you just call for a hard engage. If I would play Junkertown, I would almost never play from over here, Because if I would play against high rank players, the only way I could get away with this is if my team would engage the payload, which I do not think is going to happen. And if I would somehow be drunk and play from over here, I would jump in the back and probably get flanked by a Widow, or probably my teammates would die in the amount of time it would take me to go and reposition with my team.
Okay, I think I got most of that. But, so assuming that this was not you playing drunk, and this was playing you normal, and you were playing where you wanted to play, the question has been asked a couple times in chat, because we've got a lot of Hanzo players and a lot of Widowmaker players in chat. How can a sniper best counter what you're doing if you're playing so safe? Or, alternatively, what kind of playstyle frustrates you the most when you're playing against a Widowmaker or a Hanzo?
Players that trust their own aim. And players that trust their own aim and their own character are the players that are going to take duels. You see that with Pine a lot in Overwatch League. He just goes behind the enemy team on Gibraltar and just trusts that he's going to land a headshot from behind. Players, like if you would play sniper and you're not confident of having 6 people in front of you with the back turned around and you feel like you're gonna miss your first shot, then you just need to go and practice your hero a little bit more. So no matter how much of a perfect Ana I would play in the perfect scenario, if I would not see a Widow flanking me from a side and the Widow somehow would get behind me, I would die instantly. There's absolutely nothing I can do to her because
No sound cues, no scouting. Like, it's not scrims. You're not going to have constant scouting on a Widow's position or anything like that.
Exactly. So in a scenario like this, if I would play Widow and I would just grapple hook towards the back of Diana, even though she would hear me, I would just trust my aim and take the duel and just run and do the big long flank and just shoot them from the back. You see this with a lot of good Tracer players. If people watch other streamers, high-ranked streamers, and they play Tracer, they do that with Tracer nonstop. They just sit in the back, spawn camp, kill people, then get out. The same you can do with snipers. It's really frustrating, especially because when you play a character, you need to think what the enemy team can do to you. Number one tip, I think I gave already 5 number one tips. I deeply apologize about it. Number one tip to everybody is do not play your character the same way with a different team comp against a different team comp. These two are immobile tanks. You're playing Ana and Mercy. Mercy should pocket the snipers. Mercy is now with the snipers. That means that if you go with a duel with, if you're Widow and you're going against a duel with a Widow, you should probably win the duel because you're getting pocketed by the Mercy in case you trust your aim and so on. So that means that if you want to go for a long flank, there's absolutely nobody else to contest you apart from either a sleepback from Diana or the enemy snipers, which aren't being pocketed. So your playstyle needs to change accordingly to what team comp you have and what the enemy team comp has and how they use the heroes effectively.
Anything else?
No.
Okay.
I
don't even have follow-up questions.
I'm sorry.
I love you. I like it. Most people, when they come on this stream, I have to like really kind of play with them and get some go back and forth banter and follow-up questions to get some great information. And you just like, here it is. Do with it what you will. That's everything you need to know in a package with a bow on top. Your job now. I love it. I just love it. And I also have no idea what to do when I have no follow-up questions because that is my style of interviewing. But I like it. I got nothing else. Let's watch some more.
See, exactly. The Genji was behind, didn't check the corner. This was a 6-sleep, a nice play, but if this would have been a good player and would have checked every corner, check every corner, please.
Check every corner. Sound is not enough.
Exactly. Especially with Reinhardts. You see that in Overwatch League a lot and in contenders. Reinhardts hide behind the wall to do a sneaky shatter behind them, or as I hide with Ana behind other Reinhardts. We just sleep guard him so we can shatter instantly. Always check your corners. See, right now, can you pause for a bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
farther
so
back?
Playing,
or is this good?
A little bit farther back when the fight is about to start.
When the fight is about to start.
Okay, here.
Okay.
Okay, so right now this is good positioning because he is not going to get contested from the right side. He's only going to get contested from the front. But as you see, as the fight is going to develop, he's going to be really close to the payload. And remember the Wabbit saying I had previously.
I did
they
love
want
that
to
one.
focus. They have to focus people on the payload. If you're putting yourself on a silver plate right there, they're gonna eat you up. So just stay in the back and just and just do your job. I'm
Nom,
sorry.
nom, nom.
So don't make their life easy. Like if they give you space, then they don't give a fuck about you. Anna thrives in, and this is why Anna is not that good right now, because Anna thrives on maps on which she can have medium to long range, so she can stay scoped in, and she can see the flanks. If there are no flankers, then why are you in front with your team? Like you are not Zarya right now. You just need to sit a little bit more in the back. Your decision making again is really good. Your mechanics are kind of on point. To be honest, I'm absolutely, I wouldn't say amazed, but this is like a true potential of at least a low GM player this season. So yeah, keep up the good work and sit in the
Look at
back
that.
more.
ML7 stamp
This-
of approval. We get to see it twice in one VOD.
This is another thing. This is why I have really low objective time. I think it's because I played also in teams. You see a lot of players on different characters, they sit on the payload. If you watch any Overwatch League game, you're going to see, let's say, Town, a primary example. You're attacking, you're about to cap the first point, the fight is going to go through. You're 6 versus 6. If you watch any Town vote, you're going to see that Zenyattars are going to push the payload, and right before the fight is about to start, 5 to 10 seconds, they're going to go in the back and get in good spots. So never sit on the payload. Like you can sit on the payload whilst you're pushing it and when the fight is going on. But again, their main goal is either to cut down the healing in the back or contest the payload. And if they cut down the healing in the back, then your team is probably going to win the fight or they're going to C9 with it. So this is why I have really low objective time, and I think that would be a really good and cool stat to have also in Overwatch League. I don't think they have it for supports because I know that, again, the TLDR is if you sit on payload against good players, you're dead, especially against live.
You know, there's only one time I've ever had a guest on who has made me rewatch my own stream to kind of make sure that I caught all the information. And that was a time when I reviewed a Contenders VOD, a Mayhem Academy versus Fusion University VOD with Arrow, Dallas Fuel Arrow. And I honestly think that I'm going to have to rewatch this VOD to make sure that I caught everything. You're talking a lot of stuff. Really good information. So, chat, I hope you're getting a lot out of it as well.
Thank you.
I'm boosted, okay.
I naded.
See, over here, 3 people in front, then he backs down, he backs to cover. That's really good.
Genji's high
Genji
ground
again
is
right
low,
side. If he would have
right?
stayed in front, he would have probably get dashed to by the Genji 180 and headshot him and then dash out. Right now he sees 6 enemies in front, so there's no particular reason to close down the angle. Again, another tip is, could you pause for a second?
Absolutely.
Another tip is with Anna, her bullets, are absolutely a really important skill with Anna is to know when to reload. If you, for people that watch my stream, you're gonna see that I reload a lot of the times. And probably you're going to scream at the screen, why are you doing this? Why? Because they're gonna die. I just want to test my limits. At this moment, I thrive on improving really a ton. And from time to time, I played League of Legends before, and I was high ranked there also. And I didn't calculate the exact amount of damage that the enemy team does, but I have a feeling of how the damage is going to go through. And whenever let's say in this scenario, he started the fight with 12 out of 14 bullets. I would have reloaded in that 1.5 seconds it took for the enemy team to engage, so that I made sure I had all my bullets. A lot of Annas are playing really good, especially in Diamond and below, that are on my stream, and they asked me when I did VOD reviews for them also, they were like, so what am I doing wrong? And the primary problem with them, apart from the basic mechanics and so on, was the primary 2 problems. I mean, one, they did not press tab, and I have to say this, that the person we are reviewing right now doesn't do it that often. But again, then probably just play solo and didn't play in a team to keep track of ultimates and didn't have the need to short call. And other than that is bullet management. With Zen, you have the luxury of throwing bullets randomly because you're still gonna heal with, not randomly, I mean. Like your bullets have the highest impact with Ana than any other character in the game apart from Widow and Hanzo. But with Widow, you have 15 shots, full scope shots, if I am not mistaken, or 10 shots. I completely forgot. The thing is, with Ana, 14 bullets, starting a fight with 14 bullets rather than 12 bullets, is a skill that you really need to learn. In this particular scenario, what you wanted to cut out of it is this. They do not have any flank. The payload acts like a wall. You have a wall on the left, a wall on the right. The comp allows them to engage. The Genji just pokes the shield. The comp allows them to engage, only to hard engage the Reinhardt. That means that it takes them at least 1 second to go past the payload or above the payload to go and engage the Reinhardt if the Genji didn't dash. The Genji used the dash a couple of seconds ago, and he was poking from the bridge so he could farm his blade up because already 1 and 10 minutes have passed and he didn't have blade. So his main goal right now is probably to play the next fight. So he's not going to dash to the Reinhardt to just farm his ult. He's just going to poke around. Holy shit! I'm sorry. I think I'm speaking a little bit again too much information.
I've had to actually stop reading chat so I can keep up. It's good though. It's good.
I'm gonna. So to summarize it, okay. If you feel your teammates are not going to die whilst you're reloading, if you have 12, 10, 5, 4, 1 bullet, then reload. If your team is going to die because you're reloading, you either didn't say to your teammates that you're reloading, so that means that they need to play a little bit more passive and not swing the hammer like a lot of players do, or just go your way into them and then
like a lot of players do.
Okay. So yeah, just reload if you feel like reloading, and if you feel like you need the full 14 bullets. Before this, with Ana, it was insanely hard. Like before the buff came through, every time I would say reload, my teammates would die. But these extra 4 bullets, I did not do the math behind it. But if somebody wants to try it out, I think they amped up the bullets from mana to keep up with Moira's left click. I think it depletes fully, even if you throw a damage orb in, which you shouldn't do most of the times during your healing, if it's a brawl, so that Ana can keep up with the Moira healing. So you're going to reload when Moira is going to run out of charge of the left click. So again, the TLDR, to summarize the whole part, reload and make sure to start the fight with 14 bullets. Do not waste a single second with Ana. You need to move constantly. If you do not have anything, if you don't have anything to shoot at, if you don't have any opportunity to use your abilities, you can just reload, or you can just press tab and see the ultimate charge. Ana's one of those characters which multitasking is the most important skill you can ever have. And this is why I rated aiming or mechanics as a 5 out of 10 and knowledge of the hero as a 5 out of 10 compared to other characters.
Okay. I'm going to, because this VOD's going, normally I thank subscribers and donators like after VODs, but I'm going to take a quick pause to make sure that I get to people's subs and donations. And then afterwards, chat is requesting you do another kind of like stream of consciousness narration about what you would think about for the end of First Point. Are you up to that?
Sure.
Cool.
So right now it's a 6 versus 4. My main goal is to try and farm nano as much as possible because I have only 21%. Not go way too much in front, although we have rest. I don't want the Maxi to waste race on me. Good thing that I dodged the Rein E over there. I just want to reload, try to sleep the Reinhardt over there, try to pocket, try to nade him when the bubble goes through. I walked to the right side, I was like, fuck, why the fuck am I here? Because I'm gonna get dashed by Genji, but unfortunately he missed the dash. 5v5 right now, I want to kite to the back so I don't get poked out by the Zen. My ball just flew right in front of me. Genji dash, Genji doesn't have cooldown. I need to call that out and to call out the fact that Zara doesn't have friendly bubble for at least 7 seconds. I throw the nade over there to try and land the big anti-nade to 2 or 3 people. I sit back with the Widow, be careful about not getting sniped by the Zen. Right now I want to position myself in the back as much as possible so I deny vision from the Widow. Widow cannot flank me from the right side. I'm probably going to nade my Reinhardt when he's going to swing his hammer, and I'm probably going to nano either my Reinhardt or my Zara right now. I need to be a little bit more proactive. I have nano, they don't have nano. I need to pull a little bit more pressure because right now they got a shadow off. I think my guys also got a shadow off. I see that I missed 1 or 2 shots onto the Mercy, so I decide not to focus there because I just waste time. Like 1 shot onto the Mercy can make a difference, but healing my teammates with 1 shot can make also a difference. So I just sit in the back. I just deny vision as much as possible. And right now I think we are 4. And anyway, our spawn is going to be a little bit further, so I don't want to risk it. We don't have a main tank, so I can still get sniped. I cannot remember if Genji used Blade though, because I don't have any visual cue, any audio cue, I mean. Zaga's overextended there. I need to back the fuck out. Go to the left side, all the way to the left side of the back so I can snipe out, but I'm gonna get picked off by Reinhardt. The problem with what went there...
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
The problem with what went there is the fact that they don't have nano. You have nano, you have a full check Zaga, and you have a Reinhardt with... that's in front of the other Reinhardt. If you nano your Reinhardt, you have the pressure. You just gave up the whole pressure. For 2 or 3 seconds, you could have nanoed them. Just be more proactive with it.
Were there any, like, you talk more about this Mercy, this decision to shoot the Mercy, because I thought that was an interesting monologue. Where did you shoot the Mercy? Was it a little bit farther? It was after this, right? So I think
it was
that
after
their
this.
Mercy Valkyrie after the Hammer, if I remember correctly. Because your tanks get shattered here. Okay, so the Mercy is in Valk, and then you go to shoot the Mercy, and you miss the first shot. So, under what circumstances do you actually try and kill a Valking Mercy as Anna?
If I hit the first two shots, if I miss, actually sometimes if I miss the first shot or the second shot, I might still continue to try and get 4 shots onto her, but only if my teammates are not going to die. Right now, I think we're in a 5 versus 6. I see that my Reinhardt is full HP, and I just needed him, so I can take the risk of trying to tap the Mercy and see if I should proceed on to killing her. It's actually like before Nerfs, what the fuck? Mercy was nerfed. It was before Mercy was nerfed. It was really hard to try and kill a Valk in Mercy, but they reduced the speed that she has during Valk, so it's kind of easier right now. So again, what you want to do is, if your teammates are not going to die and if you do not need heals or damage on the ground, you can just try and heal and kill a Valk in Mercy. The problem is, what I see is Mercy is usually because it's a hero that doesn't require that much mechanics. They are really aware of who is alive. So I think that they know that you have a Widow alive, and this is why she's dodging. If she would know that you only have Anna, Mercy, and Ryan alive, she would probably just dance around the payload. So as a mini mind trick, if your snipers are dead, usually Mercies are just going to fly around in the air and try to get as much vision of the field as possible. So that's your best shot to go. If the Mercy is not, if your Widow is alive, you should just try a couple of shots off, then go back to healing your teammates or healing the enemy team, because she's probably going to shift towards somebody and dodge the Widow shots and not you.
I like it how you said that the reason Mercy or Valking Mercies fly so high in the air is to get as much vision as possible. Which, if the Mercies are as smart as you, then yes, that would be a great reason. But a lot of Mercies just kind of take to the sky to be safer there, or it's instinctual, or the Mercy doesn't know that, for example, control can allow them to descend. They only know that space allows them to fly. It's just, it's funny that you put out a very, very technical reason as to why Mercies fly in the air. Whereas if I see a Mercy in the air, I don't think, oh, they're scouting and want more vision. I think, oh, they just want to be safe. That's I just thought it was funny. But anyway, we're gonna close out the VOD here because I know it's almost 4 a.m. for you. But do you mind taking a few minutes and just answering questions from chat?
Sure.
Okay, chat. If you have any questions for mL7, post them in chat. Yes, if you try and crouch in Valkyrie, you will descend. I just blew your mind. Congrats. Now we have one less Mercy who will just arbitrarily fly through the sky. Where are you from?
From Romania.
How much time do you put into actually practicing your aim? And do you use something like OS or Aim Hero? Or custom games?
I use custom games and some free websites. I usually do them on stream. Like whenever I open the stream, I do them on stream.
Like,
and
is
how
it
much
Aim
time?
Booster?
Yeah, Aim Booster, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Who's better at Ana, you or Gale?
Ryujehong.
Ryujehong is actually better.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you watch Ryujehong's play to get better at Ana yourself?
Yes.
So what about Ryujehong is impressive to you or makes you want to play as well as him?
Decision making, like his multitasking is really good and his aim is almost flawless. Whilst my decision making, I hope that I'm going to get to that level, but my aim is my worst trait. So the thing is, why I like Jehong is because his decision making again is almost flawless when he plays Ana in every VOD. Maybe other Anas are flashier, or maybe other Anas do a lot of sick things and so on, but he is, let's say, without mistake. And my main goal is to be like him without mistake, but a little bit more faster. This is why I prefer playing with high sense. The amount of time it takes for him to take one shot, I want for me to make 2 shots, but I just need to get as accurate as him and as smart as him at this character.
Why 50 scope sense?
Because this is a funny story. When I started playing video games, I'm the type of dude that doesn't search for excuses, and I'm not that technical about everything. Like I don't know I don't know shit about about computers.
Like damage numbers or anything? You're not a guy who cares about like the exact stats or milliseconds that stuns operate or anything like that?
Exactly. Not even PC components and so on. I just know the basics.
Okay.
So I just entered CS 1.6, Counter-Strike 1.6, which I played for 4 years. And the base sensitivity was set either to 15 or to 20. I can't remember. And I just played with 800 DPI and 19 sensitivity as a sniper for 4 years. And then I swapped to League of Legends. I lowered down my sensitivity a bit because everybody was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And in Overwatch, I was like, nah, maybe better. For me, my perfect sense is the sense that allows me to turn 360 almost as fast as possible. 180 with one flick of the mouse. That's my sensitivity. Doesn't matter if you do it with your wrist or with your arm.
How often do you actually do a 180 while scoped, though?
I don't do it while scoped. I do 180 only when I quick scope, only as scope shots.
Okay.
I play with 7 sense and 50 scoped.
There's an individual in chat, Golden Fame, who doesn't have a question for you, but wants to thank you for hard carrying him to his 8th placement win. So apparently he had you in his game today. Okay. There's a donation from Devin, $11. Says, "Hey, Jayne, just wanted to say thank you for all your educational content. I started watching your stream a few months back when I was gold, and now in Season 11, I'm still gold." Thanks, Devin.
Yeah, at least he's enjoying it.
At least he's enjoying it. Yeah, you know what? Appreciate the 11. Hopefully we make it to gold next season as well. You know, better than silver. What can you say? Did I hear your girlfriend's laugh in the background?
Yeah.
She's still awake waiting for you. We'll finish this up here. Does it actually? No, we'll just end her there. So thank you so much for joining me. I apologize for the short notice. I wasn't expecting to do an Anavod today, but one was submitted at the last minute to me, and it was Master. And I like to save the Master or the Grandmaster VODs that are submitted to me for guests. So you were streaming, and things just worked out. But I really, truly appreciate you coming on and joining us. And there was one question just dropped in a donation, so before we sign off and pass your socials. From exclamation Alex, you know what I don't get when I see so much positivity? I don't think people like this lost 20 games in a row, had people 5 teammates insta-pick damage dealers, refuse to communicate, start flaming, Russian by one. Thank you for the stream. Bravo mL7. How do you get tilted? When's the last time you were like really truly tilted or rage quit?
Somebody picked Doomfist today and I got tilted. But I have not rage quit, no. I have the mentality that I've been trying to do something with esports in the past 10 years. And for me, I do not have any time left to... Like, I need to decide what I'm going to do with my life. And I do not have the luxury of being frustrated and trying to find excuses. And also, I hate that people are crying about the game and say it's unplayable and so on, because if you want to make a change, it needs to come from an individual. It needs to come from each other. Like, you can't wait for somebody to let's fix the game or let's fix the attitude and so on. You just need to be as positive as possible. If you play the game to have fun, then just have fun. No problem with that. But if you play to be really good, just mind your own business. You're not hitting 100% headshots. You're not playing flawlessly. So why rage at others? Of course, you can rage at other characters like Doomfist, but that's another story.
Well, you have my utmost respect, mL7, and I really appreciate you coming on. For those of you guys, I'll let you do the plug. Please, your Twitch, your YouTube, your Twitter, anywhere that people can find you and follow you on social media, let the people know where they can watch more of you.
Do I post it somewhere? Or
you can post it yourself in chat. And what is your... I will just do an allow. mL7. So yeah, you can type it in. You can post all the links you want in chat, as well as go nuts. I got no problem you promoting whatever you want to promote.
So you can go and follow me on my Twitch, on my Twitter, kind of new to Twitter, kind of getting used to it. And I also do a lot of educational content and funny, not that funny videos on YouTube. Wait, I don't have the exact link of the YouTube, so I'm just gonna spam it like a newbie with the whole numbers and shit. But just go and click on it. Yeah, I don't do the social media. My girlfriend does, so I'm sorry if I.
Does your girlfriend stream as well, or she's just supporting you?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
She's just helping me.
Wow. She sounds like a lovely lady.
She is, trust me. Jayne, I would like to thank you for this opportunity. It really means a lot to me.
I hope to
Really
see more of
means
you,
a lot.
and I'll make sure if you're on. When do you normally stream?
I have posted my schedule for the next 2 months on my stream.
Next 2 months.
I only know.
God, I can't decide what I'm doing in the next 48 hours. But I'll make sure to pass you a host in the future. I appreciate it, but we're gonna keep trucking. I'm not sure if we're doing a scrim VOD next or what, but thanks for coming on. You have a great day, and have a good morning. It's 4 a.m. there. Get out of here, mL7. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Cheers,
Have
bud.
an amazing stream. Cheers. See ya.